The Minister of Youth Development, Dr. Jamila Bill Ibrahim, has renewed calls for a global cultural development agenda for Africa. The minister made the call during the first African Youth and Leadership Culture Summit for African countries to rededicate its culture and values to the younger generation. The minister, who was represented by the Executive Secretary, National Institute for Cultural Orientation, Biodun Ajiboye, emphasized that every part of the African culture has been taken away from Africans in terms of language, cuisine, religion, and culture. President of the Afro-Caribbean Chamber of Culture and Tourism and the convener of the summit, Corey Ado Shakir, wants Africans to revisit its cultural heritage and work on how its rich culture can be used for economic development. Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has again charged mothers to instill the right values in children by creating bond of trust and channels of communication. She stated this at the National Cybercrime Summit and launch of the 24/7 Rapid Response Desk by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in Abuja. The First Lady emphasized that no one can prosper without hard work and honesty, adding that doing otherwise would have great repercussion. The Senator Tinubu said the world is confronted with the pressing reality of the digital age, offering unprecedented opportunities and exposing the nation to new vulnerabilities which should be addressed urgently.
Crime requires a multifaceted approach that involves various stakeholders, including parents, law enforcement agencies, national institutions, the private sector, religious leaders and traditional rulers, business leaders, communities, and the civil societies.
Speakers at the event, including Kwara State Governor Abdul Rahman Abdul Razak, were unanimous in their conclusion that cybercrime can only be fought by restoring core values and respect for culture in the society.
We need to integrate our cultural legacy and the impact it may have on the perception of crime. I'm impressed with what the EFCC, the NDLEA, and the National Orientation Agency, amongst others, are already doing in the new media and in our basic schools to reshape the minds of our young people on the issues of crime, drug abuse, and patriotism.
The future of our nation cannot and will not be allowed to hang in the balance. We must take collective actions against cybercrime. Talking about alternatives to cybercrime, there are ample skills that can be optimized for national development. It is this lack of serious cogitation on the alternative that has not made our youth shift their focus from criminal tendencies.
The newly unveiled 24/7 Rapid Response Desk is aimed at reducing the response time between cybercrime report and response time by the Commission. The Lagos State House of Assembly has stepped in to address issues raised by concerned parents over the increment in the boarding fees of state model colleges from 35,000 naira to 100,000 naira for the 2024-2025 session, which commenced on September 15. Olatunde Yusuf tells us more.
At a plenary, the Speaker, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, directed the Chairman, House Committee on Education, Honorable Musumola Songudara, to look into the matter and invite all stakeholders involved in the matter.
The House was not informed, the House was not carried along the announcement of the increase. So we just have to engage the Commissioner for Education and the stakeholders in the ministry so that we can understand the reason behind it and where they are also where we can reach compromise between parents and the ministry.
Was 100,000 naira.
Honorable Songudara informed the House that the committee had already engaged the Ministry of Education and other stakeholders on the matter.
We noticed that the notice given to the parents of the school fees of the increment was too short. That is 2 days to the resumption date. And some parents had already paid 35,000 naira before the increment. The committee then now resolved that the increment should not disrupt the school calendar, as this does not reflect in the budget. We equally advise that the first term school year to run on that 35,000 boarding fee, while the committee continues to engage the executive on this matter.
Some of the lawmakers who also contributed pointed out that the increments may be related to students' feeding costs, urging government to explore other ways to ease financial burden on parents and offer assistance where necessary.
It's for feeding. So some parents do not have so much money. So they now agree that if you don't have money, you can give your children some pocket money. So they have some food vendors into the premises that used to sell food for the student. Now the principals related that no, they don't want such thing again, that they have to pay 100,000.
But the now students that are in that school, that the parents already paid at 35,000 naira, were asked to go home. So now the principals of this said school have accepted the people that can actually pay 100,000 naira and are in school. So basically, the students that are meant to continue their education have been out of school for the period, this said period, and are sitting at home.
So to pick this particular moment to start jostling over how much should be paid for feeding in school, while I agree that we can't pay everything, but this is the time to actually look inward and see how we can mitigate this for the parents.
Ministry officials, honorable has to do with the Ministry of Education, so you can revisit this once again and let us see what we can do to agree. So just try to do whatever you can to ensure that we reach agreement with the parents in the interest of our children.
The boarding fees of model colleges across the state was increased from 35,000 naira to 100,000 naira for the 2024 academic session, which commenced on September 15, 2024. Olatudo Yusuf, LTV News.
The Senate has expressed dissatisfaction with the reports of alleged involvement in a drug deal by its Deputy Senate Leader, Oyelola Ashiru. The upper legislative chamber took the decision after the Deputy Senate Leader moved a motion on an order of privilege.
The NDA has made unfounded allegations against me. These allegations are malicious, an attempt to undermine my credibility as a senator and impede my ability to freely participate in parliamentary debate.
Senate President Godswill Akpabio wondered why such a report should be out in the media when there was no formal invitation to the senator by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. Describing Senator Ashiru as a respected gentleman and a principal officer, the president said the allegations came as a surprise to him and other distinguished senators. While describing the move to malign the Kwara South senator as an attempt to humiliate the Senate, he noted that the matter is an issue of integrity and needs to be addressed urgently.
This is said to have happened in February last year, and it is only coming up now because we made contributions on the floor of the Senate. Dear colleagues, we must take this issue very seriously because injury to one is injury to all.
The Senate President announced a 6-member ad hoc committee headed by Senator Eyinaya Abaribe to investigate the matter and report back in a week. The Senate President charged the ad hoc committee to summon the leadership of the NDLEA to appear before it to justify the allegations. The House of Representatives Committee on Navy has expressed displeasure over the arbitrary acquisition of foreign platforms without its knowledge. The committee frowned at the Nigerian Navy for failure to respond to its letters demanding for documents to facilitate effective oversight. Chairman of the committee, Honorable Yusuf Gaji, made them known during an oversight visit in Abuja.
Please take note of the following. Please do not its A1 Canadian officer and 5 should exit the conference hall through.
The Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, told the committee that the Navy is facing several challenges that should be drastically taken care of. The House Committee Chairman also expressed displeasure with the Nigerian Navy over the manner in which it handled the case of the personnel, Seaman Aruna Abbas, leading to his dismissal after 6 years in detention. In sports, the Flamingos of Nigeria secured 3 points against host Dominican Republic side in the team's final Group A match at the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup, playing for the first time in Sunday. Israel has carried out multiple airstrikes in the Lebanese port city of Tyre shortly after threatening residents there and ordering them to leave. At least 2 bodies have been retrieved from under the rubble of a residential building in Beit Lahia after it was bombed by Israeli forces. Palestinians fleeing Gaza Beit Lahia said they saw bodies lying on the streets and Israeli soldiers detaining and beating men. Israel has also carried out new strikes on Beirut's southern suburb as the army says it killed senior Hezbollah official Hashem Shafeddin in an attack earlier this month. Hezbollah is yet to comment. In Gaza, at least 42,718 people have been killed and over 100 wounded in Israeli attacks since October 7, 2023. An estimated 1,139 people were killed in Israel during the Hamas-led attacks on October 7, and more than 200 were taken captive. That's the news at noon. For more news, please connect with Lagos Television on these social media platforms. Please remember to call Lagos toll-free lines 767-0112 in case of emergencies. Thank you for watching. Join us again at 2.